warm welcome to our channel Knowledge Hub. Friends, subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for the latest update. आज हमारी जो क्लास है वो IM की क्लास है जो कि क्लास 7 है एंड ऑलरेडी हमने क्लास 6 कर लिया है। तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जो हमने यूनिट्स कवर अप किए हैं वो यूनिट 1, यूनिट 2 और यूनिट 3 जो कि हम अभी कवर अप स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं। होपफुली इन द लास्ट क्लास में स्टार्ट कर दिया एंड होपफुली इन दिस क्लास विल एंड अप विद यूनिट 3 ईयर। एंड फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इट्स अ ह्यूज रिक्वेस्ट टू all the subscribers and all the viewers that those who had not subscribed our channel. First of all, it's a huge request to all of you, please go with the subscribe button and please like, share and subscribe our channel so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. In the regard of it, here we'll start the today's class, that is the importance of PPC. In the case of the PPC, we had done about the PPC. What is PPC? That is your it's regarding of the production planning control. In the regard of it, we'll have discuss about the objective of PPC, even though the functions of PPC as well. In this class, we'll start with the importance of PPC, and here this is the importance of PPC. The first, there are the 5 importance of PPC. The first is the guideline for the production process, the second is the coordination, the third is the forecasting, fourth is the cost control, and a fifth here that we have is achieving objectives. We'll go ahead in a detail with each and every importance of PPC here. The first we have the features of the importance of production planning and control are: the first is the guideline for the production process here. In the guideline for the production process here, the production planning and control act as a guideline for the process of production. It specifies all manufacturing operation in the enterprises here. The second one we have is a coordination here. In the coordination, the production planning and control coordinates and control all manufacturing operations here. In the regard of it, the third one that we have is the forecasting. In the forecasting, the production planning and control considers all the possible future difficulties or uncertainty. It is the best way of predicting and anticipating the problem as well. The fourth we have is your cost control. In the cost control, the production planning and control facilitates optimum use of men, machines and raw material. So it helps in the case of that, we can say that it helps in minimizing the waste and the reducing the cost as well. And the fifth one we have is achieving objectives. Here the production planning and control makes optimum use of the scarce resource to optimize the production and helps in achieving the objective of the organization as well. In the regard of it, now we'll discuss about the outsourcing of production planning. In the case of the outsourcing of production planning here, the effective planning of the product manufacture is a critical to both its use its cost and the delivery time as well. Now the organizational outsource integrated planning and manufacturing process as well. In the regard of it, there are various areas outsourcing in production or manufacturing the process planning that we have. The first we have is your concept. The first we have, this is what we are discussing about the outsourcing in production or manufacturing. The first we have is concept planning. The second we have is your financial planning. The third we have is product planning, and the fourth we have is your production. And the fifth we have is your process, and the sixth we have is your manufacturing support. These were the 6 various outsourcing in the productions or manufacturing process planning are. The first is the concept planning, financial planning, product planning, production planning, process planning and manufacturing support as well. Let's go ahead with another one, and that will go ahead with the detail is your inventory control. In the case of inventory control, that they had asked about the 14-15 question marks question paper of marks 10, and then 17-18 of marks 10 as well. In 14-15 that they had asked you about what is inventory control, discuss the significance and managing the industrial organization, and or they had asked about explain the inventory control, give significance and the objectives of the inventory control. And in 2017 and 18 they had asked you in the frame of mention the importance of EOQ and for any organization. So in the reference to the inventory control here, first we have to go through with inventory control. This is a very deep topic reference towards industrial management here. In the terms of the inventory control here, The inventory control refers to the control of raw materials and the other inventories, that is achieving an optimum balance between the supply and the demand, and hence regulating the investment in them here. And this is what it known as, inventory control here. In inventory control, this is a scientific method of finding out how much stock should be maintained in order to meet the production demand and be able to provide the right type of material at a right time in a right quantity at a competitive price as well. In the inventory control reference towards it, that the effective inventory management is all about knowing the output of the finished product manufactured by the company, and the stock management system will help in handling the sales, purchasing, and the stock control as well. As there is a huge range of control solutions of various online manufacturing website that eventually fits the requirements of all the purchasers and as well as the seller as well. In that case, the handling of the stock control, inventory management, and the stock management require the best practices that provide the multi-channel e-commerce as well. In the reference towards it, we'll discuss about the some significance of inventory control. In the significance of the inventory controls the several purposes for any organization. The first significance, or you can say that the importance of inventory control, we have that the inventories helps to deal with the uncertainties in the supply and demand. And the second we have is that the inventory maintains the continuous production. The third we have is the extra finished good, and inventory makes it possible to serve the customer better. The fourth we have is the inventory helps in economic purchasing of materials. The fifth we have is it maintains the smooth and efficient flow of materials. The sixth is that inventory reduces the risk of the loss to the firm. And the seventh is that the inventory improves the liquidity positions of the firm by reducing the unnecessary typing of capital in the excess inventories as well. The eighth we have is that the inventory ensures smooth production operations by maintaining the reasonable stock of material as well. The ninth we have is that the inventory facilitates the regular and the timely supply to customers through the adequate stock of the finished good products as well. The tenth is that the inventory protects the firm against the variations in the raw materials in the delivery time. The 11th is that the inventory facilitates the production's scheduling, avoids shortage of material, and the duplicates the ordering as well. The 12th is that the inventory helps to minimize the loss of the obsolescence, deteriorations, and the damage, etc. In the regard of it, now we'll discuss about the objectives of inventory control here. In the reference towards the objectives of inventory control, the inventory control aims to minimize the cost of the inventory. The second is to provide the safe and suitable storage. The third is to provide and maintain best consumer services. The fourth is to ensure the optimum utilizations of men and machine. The fifth is to prevent the loss of material during the transportations and storage. And the sixth is to maintain a balance between the demand and the supply of material. The seventh is to avoid the delays in the production or manufacturing process. The eighth is to procure good quality material, and the ninth is to achieve the production target as well. In the regard of it, we'll go ahead with the detail, and that what we'll discuss about the various costs associated with inventory. This has been asked in the 12th and 13th, that is of marks 10 marks. And then they had asked about what different costs associated with the inventories, that they had asked about 2013 and 2014 in of 10 marks. And then after that they had asked you that various types of explain the various types of inventory control techniques, that has been asked in the 2016 and 2017 of 7 marks as well. And the reference towards this various types of that inventory control techniques that we have is in the reference towards it. First, before we will understood about the inventory cost here, in the regarded of inventory cost, and the another things that we will discuss here. And this is we have is inventory cost, that is the unit cost here. The second is your procurement or ordering cost. The third is the carrying and holding cost, and the fourth is the stock out cost here. In the regard of it, we will have to discuss all the in detail here. First, we'll go ahead with inventory cost or the unit cost. Before that, we'll go deep with another top with reference to the inventory cost. What is inventory cost? And after that, we'll understood about unit cost as well. In the regard of it, we'll go ahead and we will discuss here, and that what we have to discuss about the inventory cost here. In the reference towards the inventory cost here, that in order to control the inventories, appropriate all cost elements that are associated with the inventories are to be considered. Inventory cost are the costs related to storing and maintaining its inventory over a certain period of time. Then typically the inventory costs are described as a percentage of the inventory value. Annual average inventory, that is for the retailers, and the average of the goods abroad to its suppliers during a year on an that is your annualized basis. They vary strongly depending on the business fields, and but they are always quite high. It is commonly accepted that the carrying cost alone represented generally 25% of the inventory value on hand, and there are the various inventories cost elements which affects the cost of inventory as well. As I've told you, that unit cost, procurement or ordering cost, and the third is your carrying and holding cost, and the stock out cost as well. In the first one, that is your unit cost here, in the reference towards it, that the unit cost is usually the purchase price of the item under the consideration. Its unit cost is related with the purchase quantity, and it is called a discount cost, as discount price as well. The second we have is your procurement or the ordinary cost here. So here this is your procurement and ordering cost here. In the reference towards it, the procurement cost includes that the cost of the survey, order preparations, tender placement, cost of the postage, telephone cost, receiving cost, setup cost, etc. And that lowering these costs would be accomplished by the placing the small number of orders, each for a large quantity. Unlike carrying the cost, ordering expenses are generally expressed as a monetary value per order. In the regard of it, the third one we have is your carrying and a holding cost here. The carrying cost represents the cost of maintaining inventories in the plant. The holding cost here, in this regarding of it, that the holding cost includes that the cost of storage, handling, insurance, security, warehouse rent, taxes, theft, interest on the capital engaged, and spoilage, breakage, etc. as well. To minimize the carrying cost, management makes a frequent order of small quantities. Holding the cost are commonly assessed as a percentage of the unit value rather than attempting to derive the monetary value for each of these costs individually. This practice is the reflections of the difficulty inherent in deriving a specific per unit cost, for example, the obsolescence or a theft here. The fourth one we have is a stock out cost here. In the stock out cost, the stock out cost represent the cost of the loss of the demand due to the shortage in supplies, and this include that the cost of the loss of profit, loss of customer, loss of goodwill, and penalty, etc. These charges are probably the most difficult to compute, that arguably, and that the most important because they represent the costs incurred by the customer when an inventory policy is falters, and failing to understand these expenses can lead to the management to maintain the higher inventory levels than the customer requirement here. With regard of it, for 1 year planning horizon, the total annual cost of the inventory can be expressed as, like we can say that total amount inventory cost equals to cost of item plus annual procurement cost plus annual carrying cost plus stock out cost. This is the formula how you will find it out the total annual inventory cost here. That is total inventory cost equals to cost of item, annual procurement cost, annual carrying cost, and stock out cost. Then you can find out the total amount of inventory control here. Now with regard of it, we'll discuss more further, that is your models of inventory control, and with regard of it, that is EOQ, ABC, and WED here as of now. And for that, we'll explain the different inventory control techniques as well that we had discussed here. In reference towards the inventory, that you have to go on in a deep here, that inventory is a stock of material that are used to facilitate the production. Inventories are the continuous requirement of for the running the manufacturing operation smoothly, and the inventory is the idle stock with the firm and which are necessary to manufacture a product and to maintain the equipment in a good condition as well. Inventory includes the raw material, finished and the semi-finished goods, spare parts of the other consumer material. In the regard of it, the first is the raw material inventory. In the raw material inventory, that is comes under that raw material inventory, that the spare parts and the consumable word. We can say that the first we have is raw material inventory. So in the raw material inventory, that is the stock of the part, that ingredient and the others basics inputs to the production of the services process. And for example, a two-wheeler manufacturing company, a raw material inventory includes like engines, that is carburetors, chain sprockets, and seats, tires, tubes, and petrols, and the shock absorber, etc. On the semi finished good inventory, that is another one, and that is the second one with reference to the raw material inventory. The semi finished in good inventory is a stock of items that is currently be transformed into the final product or services as well. In the third one, we have a finished good inventory, that is a stock of item that has been produced and are awaiting a sale or a transit to a customer as well. In the regard of it, we can say that that types of inventories, that what we had seen is that is ABC analysis and WET analysis and HML analysis. In the regard of it, these the materials can be classified according to the various criteria. These will characterize in the various criteria that we have is your the cost of the product, usage rate, and the lead time, and the procurement difficulties as well. The based on these above criteria include inventory management can be classified into the following, that we have ABC analysis and the WED analysis and the HML analysis here. In the ABC analysis here, the ABC analysis is a selective inventory control method, and ABC analysis is the new method of classifying the production material, both purchased and manufactured, according to their money value. And this technique of classifying the materials or the inventory has or to have a better control, and hence it is popularly known as the always better control, that analysis. We can say that ABC full form, always better control analysis here. In the always a better control analysis, they are the category, that is the category that is your category A, B, and C. In the case of category A, these are the most valuable items. Percentage of the total item in the category A is about 5 to 10% of the inventory cost, and about the 75 to 85% of the total inventory cost, and such items are purchased frequently in a smaller quantity as well. In the category B, that stands for that this medium usage value items are grouped under the B category, and these items absorb 10 to 20% of the investments, are 10 to 20% of the total inventory, and such items need a moderate control, and these are not purchased frequently as well. In the C category here, that these are the lowest usage value items. These constitutes the 75 to 85% of the total inventory, and absorbing the 5 to 10% of the total investment, and it requires a low degree of control as well. In the regard of it, the next we have is your that is the HML analysis. In the HML analysis, that is HML stands for here, that is high, medium, and low analysis. In the HML, that stands for, as I told you, high, medium, and low analysis. That under the HML analysis, all the inventory items are put into the three groups, that is in high, medium, and low, depending on the unit prices of the material. In order to classify the items that are used in descending order of the unit price, the few top item in the list of forms H category, and few bottoms item are called L category, and the items between the H and L, that constitutes the M category here. And the cutoff point of each category is decided by the management. HML analysis helps in the assessing the storage and the security requirements here. In the security requirements and the WED analysis, that is the WED stands for, I just write it down, vital, essential, and desirable. So WED stands for vital, essentials, and desirable. Under the technique of all the items are divided into the three category. It is will be vital, essential, and desirable, depending upon the criticality of each item. And the vital category item are so important that their shortage leads to the stoppage of production. Essential categorizations items are necessary for the smooth functioning of organization, but their shortage does not lead to a sudden stoppage of production as well. The category includes a material whose stock out cost is very high. Desirable category item are those whose stock out cost is low and whose shortage does not cause immediate loss of production as well. In the regard of it, we'll go ahead with another one, and that we have your economic order quality. This stands for EOQ. EOQ here in the form of economic order quality here, in reference towards it, that the economic order quality EOQ refers to the quantity ordered to be purchased at the low cost, that is ordering cost. And EOQ also known as an economic last size, and the economic order quantity is one where the cost of the procurement and the cost of the carrying are equal. Here, that is the Q abstract equals to under root 2QS here, 2DS upon IC, and that is equals to under root, that is the annual demand multiply ordered or setup cost and upon the annual holding cost here. In the regard of it, we can say that the EOQ here, that is the quantity at which the holding cost and the ordering cost are equal. So we can say that Q by 2 H is equals to D by QS as well. And in the regard of it, we can say that in reference towards it. And with the regard of it, the EOQ that will discussed in detail here in reference towards it, and in the sequence that we'll discuss about the steps and for calculating the EOQ for the quantity discounts, because after that we will have to discuss some of the numerical related to EOQ. In the steps in the calculating the EOQ for the quality discount, that the first step we have that calculate EOQ if this amount that can be purchased at the lowest price. You have found the quantity that minimize the equation. If not, proceed to step 2. And the two that compare total cost at the EOQ quantity with the total cost at each price break above the EOQ as well. In the regard of it, the inventory control and the objectives of the inventory control, that the cost of involved in the IC, that is inventory control. Basic inventory models assumptions that we have, the assumptions for the basic EOQ models. The first is that the demand for an item that can be predicted accurately and is constant over time. This means that the sales are distributed evenly and don't fluctuate over the relevant time period. The second is that the inventory is received immediately. This means that the quantity ordered is received as one batch at the point in a time and without delay. The third is the relevant cost at the variable cost of ordering cost, and of holding the inventory, that is a holding cost. And the EOQ model is an essential a trade-off between the relationship of the total ordering cost and the total holding cost as they change with the change in the order quantities as well. The third and fourth we have is the lead time, that is between the placing and the receiving an order is known with a certainty. This means that the order can be placed at the right time to avoid any possible shortage and a stock out condition as well. In the regard of it, I will discuss about the expressions of EOQ. The notations used in the deriving the expressions for EOQ that we have is, that is the D that has been denoted by the D is denoted by the total annual demand in units, and that is the Q that is denoted by here, that is the quantity that ordered and in units here. In the Q abstract that has been denoted here, that is the optimal order quantity in the units. And after that, the R that has been mentioned will go through with the diagram as well, with the formula as well, that R is the reorder point in the units as well, and the R abstract is the optimal recorder point in units, and L is the lead time, S is the procurement cost, that is per order, C is the cost of the individual item, that is the cost per unit, I is the carrying cost per unit carried, that is as per the percentage of the unit cost C, K is the stock out cost per unit out of the stock, and the P is the production rate or the delivery rate. The D1 is the demand per unit time during the lead time, and the capital D1 is the total demand during the lead time, and the TC is the total annual inventory cost, and TC abstract is the minimum total annual inventory cost here. The number of the orders per year that we'll find it out is about that is N equals to annual demand upon ordered, that is capital E upon small q. In the regard of a total procurement cost will be, if you are finding out the total procurement cost here, then you can go ahead with D S dot D by Q. in the total carrying cost per year, that is carrying cost per unit in the unit cost, and the average inventory per cycle, that we can write it down like IC 0 plus Q.2, that is equals to 1 by C Q by 2. This is the formula that will do ahead, and this is I here. In the regard of it, the cost of the item per year, that is equals to the annual demand unit time, that is you can multiply by DC here. In the regard of it, total amount of cost, that is annual cost purchased and the annual ordering cost and plus annual holding cost. Just I can write it down here. Total annual cost is equals to here So with regard of total, as of I tell you, total annual cost is equals to like that is your annual, that is comes under the annual purchase cost plus annual ordering cost and plus annual holding cost. Then you will find it out total annual cost as well. In the terms of total annual inventory cost, we can say that that will be the DC, and then plus. So when stockouts are not considered, then we will be doing this formula here, that is the DC is equals to that is DC that multiplies DQ and 1C, and that is Q by 2. By taking a partial derivations of the TC with respect to the Q, you can just go on ahead, and then after that we'll be finding out like Q abstract, that is equals to under root 2 DS upon IC, and where Q abstracts is an optimal order quantity here. The Q abstract with 2 DCS upon C, and that is equals to, we can say that under root 2, that is annual demand multiply order or setup cost upon annual holding cost here. And with regard of it, the graphic representations of the EOQ model is as shown. We will just represent it here as in the form of, this is the quantity Q and this is the time T. In the reference towards it, this is the margin line. With regard of it, it will be like such. Here, this is your supply line, usage line here. So this is an economic order quantity model, that is the EOQ model. Expected time between the order T equals to working days for A upon N here. And with regard of it, we will go ahead with another one, and that is we'll go ahead with a question here, that the annual demand for an item 3200 parts, the unit cost is 6, and the inventory charges are estimated of 25% per annum. If the cost of the one procurement is rupees 150, so first is to find it out economic order quantity, the second is to the number of order per year, and the third is to optimal cost as well. So here with regard of it, this has been asked in the 2016 and 2017 of marks 8. Here annual demand has been given, that is annual demand is 3,200, and the unit cost has been given, that is rupees 6 here, and then the carrying cost, that is IC, has been given 25%, and 25% of the unit cost, so that is 0.25 into 6, and then you'll find out the carrying cost. Ordering cost they had given you, that is your 150 here. Okay, in the regard of it, I will find it out for the EOQ, just as the first one, that what they had find it, let us find it out, that is EOQ is equals to Q abstract under 2 DC upon IC. We'll put the value, that is under 2 multiply 3200 multiply 150 upon 0.25 into 6. Then what we'll get here, that is Q abstract is equals to 800. Okay, after that, the second what we have to find out is number of order per year. In the regard of number of order per year, so that the formula we have is D upon Q, and that is 3200 upon 800. and we'll cancel it out zeros. 8 ones are 8, 8 fours are 32. So the answer will be the 4 here. Now we'll find it out the third one, that is your optimal cost here that we have. For the third one we'll find it out, that is the optimal cost. So optimal cost is equals to annual demand multiply price of unit item plus under root to DSIC. We'll put the value 3200 multiply 6 plus under root 2 into 3200 multiply 150 multiply 6 multiply 0.25. Next we'll solve it out, that is rupees 20,400. So this will be the right answer. Let's go ahead with another one, and that we have to solve with another question here, as you can see here. And the question we have is that a manufacturing company requires a 9,500 units per year, and ordering a cost of rupees 125 per order, and carrying a cost as that as to 20% purchase price per unit is rupees 45. Determine the first is the EOQ, the second is optimal number of orders, the third is the total cost including the acquisitions of material here. In the regard of it, the annual demand that they had given you is 9,500 here, and that what we have given ordering cost has been given 125 for and that is the inventory cost is the 20 here, and the unit cost is rupees 4. In the regard of it, yes, we can say that. And the economic order quantity, that what we have to find it out, and we had find it out in the last question as well. So EOQ हम find out करेंगे. The first one we have to find it out, and we know that the formula is Q abstract equals to under root 2 ds upon IC, and we will put the value, that is under root 2 multiply 9500 and multiply 125 upon 2 multiply 20 multiply 4. We'll further solve it out, and then Q abstract equals to 172.300, that is near about, we can say that 173, because 0.300 है, तो we'll just cover up and then approximate the value जो आपकी आएगी 173 आएगी. Let's go ahead with the second one, that what they had told about the optimum number of orders here. So for the second one, the optimum numbers of order का हमें पता है formula क्या होता है, optimum numbers of order, so that will be equals to D upon Q, and the D हमें पता है, that is 9500. अब Q जो है वो भी हमें पता है, and that will be having a 173. So we'll just we had find it out 173, and so we'll just first solve it out. We'll got 54.91, and that will approximate value, that is 55 here. The third one में क्या find out करना है, that total cost including the acquisition of material, and for that sake we'll go ahead with the third one here, and that we have total cost of TC, that is equals to CD plus S dot D upon Q plus IC Q upon 2, and that what will solve it out further. We'll put the value. So what we'll put the value here, that will get 9500 multiply 4 plus 125 multiply 9500 upon 173, and then plus 20 multiply 4 multiply 173 upon 2. Now we'll further solve it out. We'll get 3800 while solving this, plus solving this we'll get 6864.16 plus 6920 while solving this. So when we'll add up all, we'll get 51784 into 0.16. This will be the right answer for this question here. Let's go ahead with another one, and that what we have is another question here, and that is the question we have arrived to solve is that is the company is required 10,000 units of raw material per annum, and the cost per order is estimated to be rupees 50. The storage cost estimated is rupees 5 per unit of the average inventory. What quantity should be ordered so that the total cost is minimum, and also find the total minimum cost as well. The annual demand D is 10,000. The ordering cost as is rupees 50 order per order, and the inventory cost is that is 5, and unit cost unit prices 4. So we'll just find it out for the economic order quantity, क्योंकि इसमें सिर्फ EOQ ही बोला है निकालने को. तो we'll go ahead and we'll find it out. That is equals to under root 2 DC upon IC, that is equals to क्यू अपस्ट्रीम निकालना है, लाइक √2 मल्टीप्लाई 9500 multiply 125 upon 20 multiply 4, and for after subbing it out we'll get q abstract equals to 172.300 equals to 173. This will be the right answer here. Now we'll go ahead with another one, and that what we have to discuss about the supply chain management. In the case of the supply chain management here, that supply chain management is the coordinations of all supply activities of an organization from its suppliers and the partners to its customers here. In the regard of it, if I'm talking about the supply chain management, that is SCM. This is very important. This has been asked in many years, 2014, 15, 15, 16, and 10 marks में, 16, 17 में 8 marks में, and 13, 14 में 10 marks में, and 17, 18 में 10 marks में already पूछा गया है. In the regard of it, for example, a company manufactures and sell a product to the other business, that the relationships with other business needed to manufacture and sell a product. A series of interdependent activities by which an organization source product that sources or the services, products or the services from the other organization is called as supply chain. The main members of the supply chain are the organization of the manufacture of product and the deliver services as well. That is illustrated here in the form of that the supplier, this is the supplier goes to the manufacturer and that retailer, and then after that फिर ये एक पूरा जो chain है ये आपका एक that is including intermediaries, that is supplier, manufacturer, retailer, उसके बाद वो customer के पास गया. For this for the simplified view, organization से normally हम लोग जो एक conceptual रखते हैं कि organization में बना और फिर उसके बाद वो customers को मिल गया. This is a simplified view, but actually में वो क्या होता है, पहले supplier होता है, फिर मैन्युफैक्चरर के पास जाता है, फिर रिटेलर, एंड देन आफ्टर दैट कस्टमर के पास मिलता है. बट एक्चुअल जो हम लोग एक अजम्पशन बना के रखते हैं, बीइंग नॉट अ प्रोफेशनल, तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से सीधे कस्टमर में मिल गया. बट द एक्चुअल फैक्ट इज दिस. ओके, in the regard of it, we can say that an organizational supply chain can be viewed from a system perspective as an acquisitions of the resource as input, and the transformation that the process into the product and the services output and that are delivered to the customer as well. The supply chain is a sequence of events intended to satisfy a customer. The customer supply chain management includes the procurement, manufacture, distribution, and the waste disposals together with the transport, storage, and the information technology. The technology plays a vital role in the supply chain management, since the managing relationship with the customers, suppliers, and the intermediaries is based on flows of information and the transaction between these parties. The links between an organization and all the partners involved in multiple supply chain is called as a supply chain network, and the existence of this network increases the need of the electronic communication technology to manage and optimize network as well. In the regard of it, in this process of supply chain, or when each activity adds value to the product or the services that is delivered to customer, and then the supply is called as the value chain. The value can be added to a customer by reducing the cost and by adding values to the customer as well. The electronic communication can be used to enhance and value change by making value chain activities such as the procurement more efficient, and also enabling the data integrations between activities as well. Here with regard of it, today the supply chain is seen as one of the major forces behind the success of the world-class companies, and has become a next source of the competitive advantages as well. In the regard of it, the objectives of SCM we have is that the important objectives of the goals of SCM are listed below. Like the first is to reduce the cost of the product or the services, to keep the inventory level as low as possible. The third is to offer the better quality services to the customer, and the D is to improve the overall performances and efficiency of the organization. The fifth is to develop the relationship between the customers and the suppliers. The sixth is to offer value added services to gain the competitive advantages. The seventh is to get the right of the product to the right place at the least cost, and the eighth is to reduce the cycle times. Ninth is to increase the profitability of to the organization, and the 10th is to increase the customer satisfaction, so loyalty, and revenue as well. The components, if I'm talking about the components here, so here we have any components here in the Gantt detail with, and that what we have is In the reference towards it, as you can see here, this is what we have to discuss related to the components here. And in the reference towards the component, yeah, we have there are 7 components. The first is the supplier management, second is the inventory management, the third is the distribution management, fourth is channel management, fifth is the payment management, sixth is financial management, and the seventh is the sales force management here. We'll go ahead with the detail in all here. That is, the first is the supplier management here. And the first will go the various components of the supply chain that what we had discussed here. In the case of the supplier management, the main functions of the supplier management is to maintain the optimum number of suppliers and make them the partners in the business as well. The second is the inventory management here. The inventory management that maintains the minimum required inventory levels for the raw materials and to shorten the ordered bill cycle as well. The third we have is the distribution management here. In the distribution management keeps records of the document required for the transportations of shipping, example the purchase orders, bill and lending, etc. as well. The fourth we have is the channel management. In the channel management is responsible for the communication amongst the trading partners. Channels management informs to the trading partners about the changing the operational condition as well. The next we have fifth, that is your payment management. In the payment management, payment management keep the track of the payment and the receivable amounts of the suppliers, distributors as well as in company. The sixth we have is the financial management here. In the regard of the financial management manages overall resources of finance for the organization and also the money in the foreign exchange account as well. And in the regard of it, the next we have sales for management, and the sales for management keeps the coordination among the productions department, marketing department, customer services and the payment management by the providing the necessary information as well. Now with regard of it, we can go on towards the discussion about the logistics here. In the regard of the logistics, what we have to understood about, in the logistics is closely related to the supply chain management. That the logistic is the time related positioning of the resource or the strategic management of the total supply chain. Logistic is essentials for the efficient management of the supply chain. For example, the resource management and the transport are integral part of the supply chain as well. The first is the inbound logistic and the second is the outbound logistic here. In the inbound logistic, the management of the material resource entering an organization from its supplier and the other partner is called inbound logistic. In the outbound logistic here, the management of the resource supplied from an organization to its customer and the intermediaries such as the retailers and the distributors is outbound logistic here. Now we'll discuss about the benefits of SCM, that is the supply chain management. In the regard of it, that the objectives of the supply chain management is to direct and control the flow of the goods and the material from the supplier to the manufacturing plant and then to the end customers through various channels. In the regard of it, the benefits of this sound SCM are as under, like first is the better supply relation, the second is the better utilization of information technology, the third is the small supply basis, the fourth is the improved relationship between the suppliers and the other business partner, the fifth is the reduction in the lead time between the chain links, making the chain high reliable. The seventh is the maximizing the the ability to transfer the value. The eighth is the eliminations of non-value adding activities. The ninth is to improving the efficiency and effectiveness, and the 10th is the use of the innovative ways to improve. In the regard of it, we'll go ahead with the detail, and the 11th is that the faster and the more accurate order processing as well. In that regard of it, the 12th we have is the reduction in the inventory level, and at the 13th we have is the committed delivery dates of the products and the manufacturer as well. In regard of it, we'll discuss more over here. In the case of now we'll discuss about the Thurbling here. In the Thurbling, a graphical representation of the coordinated activities of an operator body members. These activities are described in terms of the basics, basic or fundamental motions known as the Thurbling here. In the case of the Thurbling, at the time of the Frank Gilbert was doing his work in the field of the motion study, he also concluded that any manual activities could be described in terms of the 17 fundamental motions here. In the regard of it, these comparable to our being able to describe every word in the English language in the terms of the sum of the 26 letters of the alphabet, and that each of the fundamental motion is called the Thurbling here. The basic 17 motions name of the Thurbling that we have to discuss here in the reference towards it. So what we have is in the reference toward it, that the name of the Thurbling is and the letter abbreviation, that what we have to discuss here. In the case of the name of the Thurbling, that is the search, and for the letter abbreviation, that is SH. And the second word is to select, and that is the abbreviation is ST, that is in capital. The third word we have a grabs, and that is the letter abbreviation is capital G. And the transport empty, that is the capital in capital TE. And the transport loaded, that is TL in capital. And then we have a hold, that is your H in capital. And then we have release load, that is RL in capital. Then we have a position, that is in P capital. And then we have a preposition, and the capital, that letter abbreviation we have PP in capital. And inspect, that is we have I capital. And then we have assemble, that is A capital. And then we have disassemble, that is DA capital. Then we have use, that is U capital. Then we have your that is your unavoidable delay, that is UD capital. Avoidance avoidable delay, that is AD capital. Plan, PN capital, P capital, N small. And rest, and then R is capital here. And the reference towards it, we will go ahead with a detail with some of the things that they had asked you about it in 2012 and 2013. And that is too long. They had asked you, but they had asked you in the 10 marks, so I will be discussing that. That they had asked you about describe the cycle of the push and pull view of supply chain process. The push and pull strategies are there. There are the two strategies that has been done. That is, the first is a push and the second is a pull strategy. In the regard of push strategy, a push model supply chain is one where the projected demand determines what enters the process. And for example, the warm jackets get pushed to the clothing retailer as the summer ends and the fall and winter's season start. Under the push system, the companies have a predictability in their supply chain, since they know what will come when and long become below before it actually arrive. And this also allows them to plan the production to meet their needs and gives them time to prepare a place to store the stock they receive. In the pull strategy, a pull strategy is related to the just time here, and the just in time schools of inventory management that minimizes the stock on hand and focusing on the last second deliveries as well. In the regard of it here, in the case of the pull strategies, as I've told you, and the pull strategy is related to the just-in-time schools of inventory management that minimizes the stocks on hand and focusing on the last second deliveries as well. Under these strategies, the products enter the supply chain, and when the customer demands to justify it. One example of an industry and that operates under this strategy is a direct computer seller that awaits until it receives an order to actually build a custom computer for the consumer. And will with the pull strategy, companies avoid the cost of the carrying inventory they may not sell, and the risk is that they might not have an inventory to meet the demand if they cannot ramp up and production quickly enough as well. In the regard of it, the suppliers from the distributor, it goes to the retailer, and so we can say that supplier receive them from manufacturer gives to the distributor, and distributors give to the retailer, and retailer gives to the consumer. In the when manufacturer receives to the supplier, that is a supply to the forecast, and when a manufacturer give towards it the production based on forecast as well. The distributors is the inventory based on the forecast, and the retailers, that is the stock based on the forecast, and the customer, that is purchase water is on shelves as well. And the suppliers, that is supply to the order, produce to order, distributors to automatically replenish the warehouse, automatically replenish the stock, that is retailer has been done, and the customer is the customer order as well. The push-pull strategies here, the technically every supply chain strategy is a hybrid between the two, and a fully push-based system is still stopped at the retail store, where it has to be wait for a customer or to pull product off the shelves as well. However, the chain that is designed to be in a hybrid flip between the push and the pull somewhere in the middle of the process. For instance, a company may choose a stop or pile finished product at the distribution centers to wait for the orders that pull them to stores, and manufacturers might choose to build up the inventories of the raw materials, especially those that go in the prices, and knowing that they will be able to use them for a future purpose as well. Now we'll discuss about the role of a work study in improving the productivity here, that has been asked in the 2015 and 2016 here. In the regard of it, the work study investigate the work done in an organization and aims in the finding the best and the most efficient way of utilizing the available resource like man, material, money and machinery to achieve the best possible quality work in minimum possible time. Like work study involves the least possible time and the cause least possible fatigue to the workers. In the reference towards it, the work study is the tool of management for raising the productivity and the efficiency of the factory of the recognition of work. Now we'll talk about what is study, that has been asked in the 2020 and 2013 year. In the regard of it, that the time study is the art of the recording the time required for the perform a motions or a series of motions. Time study determines the standard days of work by finding out the amount of the time needed by the workers to perform the various operations. Time study is defined by the ILO, that is time study is a work measurement technique for recording the times and the rates of the working for the elements of the specified job carried out under the specified conditions and for analyzing the data so as to obtain this time necessary for carrying out the jobs at the defined level of performances as well. Time study is done by the measuring the time with the stopwatch to check how long a work takes time to perform each operations of the job as well. After the measuring the time for the various operations of the job, allowances should be made for the fatigue and to visit to attain the necessary calls as well. In the regard of it, the main objectives of the time study is to determine by the direct observation the quantity of the human work in a specified task and hence to establish the standard time within which an average workers working at a normal pace should complete the task using the specified method as well. If I'm talking about the role of the time study in the production, so that has been asked in the 2013 and 2014 year. In the regard of it, the rules of the time study in the manufacturing or the production year. The first is to standardize the method of the doing work. The second is to minimize the unit cost of the production. The third is to determine the standard time of for doing a task, and the fourth is to minimize the material movement and the operator's movement. The fifth is to eliminate the unnecessary human movements, and the sixth is to utilize the facilities such as man, machine, and material, and most effectively. And the next is to asymmetric investigations of all the factors. In the regard of it, what do you mean by the standard time? That is also an important one that has been asked in the 2015-16. In reference to the standard time is the total time in which a job should be completed at a standard performance, that is a work content. Contingencies, allowances for the delay, unoccupied time, and the inferences allowances and where applicable as well. In the case of the standard time, that is standard time is equals to the basic time plus relaxation allowances plus the allowances for the additional work, that is that the part of the contingencies allowances which represent work as well. In the regard of it, what the standard time is, that the normal time upon the first ILMs is here. Now we'll discuss about defined method study and what are the objectives of method study. In the case of, because it has been asked in the many times, that is 2015, 2016 and 2017 as well as 2018 here. In the regard of it, for the method study, the method study is a systematic recording of critical examination of existing and proposed way of doing work as a means of developing and applying the easier for more effective method of the reducing cost as well. In the regard of the objectives of the method study, here we have that the objectives of the method study or the motion study are as under, like first is that the improvement of the processes and the procedures as well. The second is that the improvement of the factory sharpens in the workplace layout and the design of the plant and equipment. The third is that the economy of the human efforts and the reductions of unnecessary fatigue. The fourth is the improvement in the use of the material, machines and manpower. The fifth we have is the development of the better physical working environment as well. In the regard of it, now we'll discuss about the ergonomics. Economics तो सुना होगा आप लोग ने, like we'll discuss about ergonomics. Ergonomics क्या होता है, that has also been asked in this IM and industrial management, that is in 2016 and 2017 they had asked you about ergonomics here. In the ergonomics, this is the or human factor that derives from the two Greek words, that is ergon, that means is work, and the nomic, that is means the natural laws, to create a world, that means the science of the work and a person's relations of to that work. The International Ergonomics Association has adopted this technical definitions, that ergonomics or a human factor is a scientific discipline concerned with the understanding of the interactions among human and other elements of the system, and the professions that applies theory, principles, data and the method to design in order to optimize the human well-being and overall system performances as well. The physical ergonomics is concerned with the human anatomically and anthropometric and the psychological and the biomechanical characteristic as they relate to physical activity. The attention to the ergonomics principles helps to reduce the workplace injuries and the illness that result in the workers' compensation costs, medical claims, and the loss of work time as well. Many disorders and the injuries are the preventable which work when work conditions are designed for the human safety and the comfort. Now we'll discuss about the production. What is production here? That has been asked in the 12 and 2013 here. In the reference towards it, the production is the method of turning the raw material or the inputs into the finished goods or the product in a manufacturing process. In the other word, it means the creations of something from the basics input. It also refers to the quantity produced. The production is an organized activity of the transferring the resources into the finished product in the form of the goods and the services, and the objectives of the production is to satisfy the demand for such transformed resource as well. In the regard of it, now we'll discuss about the production. So we had discussed about the production planning here. In the case of the production planning here, the production planning is concerned with the deciding in advance what is to be produced and when to be produced and where to be produced and how to be produced as well. It involves the foreseeing every steps in the process of the production so that to avoid at different and inefficiencies of the operations of the plant as well. And in the regard of it, the production planning is defined as the technique of the forecasting and the picturing ahead every step in a long series of separate operations. Each steps to be taken in the right place and the right degree and the right time, and each operations to be done in the maximum efficiency as well. In the case of the production planning involves looking ahead, anticipating the bottleneck, and then identifying the steps necessary to ensure the smooth and uninterrupted flow of production as well. In the regard of it, it determines that the requirements of the for the material, machinery, and the manpower establishes the exact sequences of operations for each individual item that lays down to the time schedule for its complex completions. Production planning incorporates a multiplicity and production elements that ranging from the everyday activity to the staff of the ability to realize accurate delivery times for the customers here. And the regard of it, now we'll discuss about as we had discussed about the production and the productivity. In the production where the production is the process of combining units of input, that is natural, man-made, or human resource to create the output like goods and the services that is capable of satisfying the human needs and wants as well. In the productivity case, that the productivity is the increase of the output from each unit in the production process, and there are several ways of achieving the productivity. This includes the training of workers and the introduction to the machinery and the equipment into the production process as well. Now we'll go ahead with the detail with the inventory management, that is the ABC analysis, as I told you about it. That has been asked in the many questions as related to the examination here. With regard of it, the ABC analysis stands for the based on the that is the Pareto principle, that is also known as the 80-20 rule, stating that the 80% of the overall consumption values is based on the 20% of the total item as well. In the regard of it, that ABC analysis is the popular technique is dividing on hand inventory into the three categories, that is A, B, and C, that is based on the annual consumptions unit, inventory value, and the cost significance. In the A, that is the item of high value, that is the 70%, and the small in the number, that is the 10% here. The second is the B, that is the item of the moderate value, that is the 20%, and the moderate in the number, that is 20% as well. The C is that items of small value, that is the 10%, and the large in the number, that is 70%. The value and the numbers of items of each category are expressed as a percentage of the total. The trick is to manage the each category separately as is required, and as not every category needs the same amount of the attention and the effort as well. In the reference towards it, we consider the ABC analysis allows the prioritizations in the terms of the managing different goods and the inventory, where the selective control and allocations of funds and the human resources are deployed here. In the regard of it, we can say that in the case of that, for an instance, items should be eyeballed and constantly and put under the especially and the tight inventory control, because of the need for the reordering will be more frequent and continuous. On the other hand, the items of the category C requires minimum attention and can be kept under the simple observations, like employing a rather hands-off approach as well. In the terms of it, we'll discuss about the inventory control, as of that is also important one. And the reference towards it, we can say that the inventory control refers to the control of the raw material, and the other inventories, that is the achieving an optimum balance between the supply and the demand, and hence regulating the investment in them. Inventory control is a scientific method of finding out how much stock should be maintained in order to meet the production demands and be able to provide the right types of the material at a right time, at a right quantity of the, at a competitive price as well. And the reference towards it, that is EOQ, and that is economic order quantity here. In the reference towards it, the economic order quantity, that is EOQ, stands for the economic order quantity. It is measurement is used in the field of the operations, logistics, and the supply management here. In the regard of it, EOQ is a tool used to determine the volume and the frequency of the orders required to satisfy a given level of the demand while minimizing the cost per order as well. And the EOQ, that is the economic order quantity, is a production formula used to determine the most efficient amount of the goods that should be purchased based on the ordering and carrying the cost. In other words, it is represented the optimal quantity of inventory a company should order each time in order to minimize the cost associated with the ordering and the holding inventory here. With regard of it, we will have an importance of EOQ here in the reference towards it. The economic order quantity is a set of the point designed to help the companies to minimize the cost of ordering and holding, in regard of it, in holding that with the increase of the ordering, the volumes to the purchasing on the economics of scale. However, as the size of the inventory grows, the cost of the holding and the inventory rises. That is, EOQ is an exact point that minimize both these inversely related costs as well. Now we'll discuss about the two symbols of the process chart here. As you can see here, this has been asked in the 1617 and 1718 as well. Symbol used in the process chart, the first symbol is your circle here, that is for the name of that is operation, and the activities represented here, that is the modification of the object at one workplace. An object may be changed in any of its physical or chemical characteristics, that is assembled or disassembled or arranged, or another operations like transportations, inspections, or storage as well. This is an sort of an arrow key. This is the representation of transportation here, that is the change in the location of object from one place to another. The third we have here, as you can see here, that is the another one, that is your rectangle, a sort of a rectangle here. In the regard of the rectangle here, that is the sort of inspection, and in the case of the inspections here, that is it stands for, in the case of inspection, that is the examinations of the object to check on quality or the quantity characteristics as well. This is a sort of a D, and that is a delay here. In the delay, that is the retentions of the objective in the locations awaiting the next activity. Not authorization is required to perform the next activity as well. This is a sort of a reverse triangle here. In the case of it here, that is the representing the storage, that is retentions of the on object in the locations in which it is protected here. In the regard of it, yes, we can say that with reference to it. Now we'll discuss about the difference between the inventory and the stocks here. In the case of the inventory, we'll discuss one by one. In the inventory includes the business finished product as well as the raw materials used to make the products, and the machinery used to produce the product, and the building in which the products are made. In other words, anything that goes into the producing the items sold by the business is a part of its inventory as well. In the cost of the stocks here, the stock is the finished product that is sold by the business, and in some cases stock is also raw material if the business also sells those products to its customers here. For the second point, for the inventory here, that is the inventory includes the states products and the goods and material used to produce a product here. In the stock, that is stock deals with the product that are sold as a part of the business delays operations as well. And the third point for the inventory is that inventory is used in accounting context, and the stocks is used in business context here. For the fourth point for the inventory is valued at the cost of the incurred by the company using the valuations and that methods like FIFO, LIFO, and average cost. And for the stock, it is valued at the market value, that is the selling price at which it is sold to the customer here. Now we'll end up with unit third as of now. And first of all, it's a huge request to all of you that who had not subscribed our channel, please go through with the subscribe button, so that you will get all the information that what we had uploaded, you will get at once, and you will enjoy the video as well as you will get the knowledge as well. And with reference towards it, the unit 1 that we had discussed about the introduction, concepts and scope of industrial management, productivity, definitions, measurement, productivity index, types of production system, industrial ownership, that what we had discussed here till date. Unit 2, that is the function of management, Taylor's scientific management theory, 5 years principles of management and social responsibilities of the management, introduction to human resources management, nature of HRM, function of importance of HRM, that what we had discussed. In the unit 3rd, the work study, that is introduction, definition, objectives and steps in the work study, method study, definitions, objectives, steps in the method study, work measurement, purpose, types of studies, stopwatch methods, steps, allowances, standard time calculation, work sampling, production planning and control, inventory cost, models of inventory control, EOQ, ABC and WIT. That what we had discussed in this class today itself. Now we'll discuss in the unit 4, that is the quantity control, quality control, that is statistical quality control, control charts for the variable and the attributes, acceptance sampling, single sampling, double sampling plans, introduction to TQM, that what we have to discuss in the next coming classes. The next is your unit 5th, that is the project management, project network analysis, CPM, PERT and project crashing and the resource leveling as well. So first of all, it's a huge request to all the subscribers, those who had not yet subscribed our channel, please go through with the subscribe button so that you will get the information that what we are uploading here. And first of all, it's a huge request to all those subscribers, those who had subscribed our channel, thanks for all those subscribers, and please go through with the subscribe button and like, share and subscribe our channel and support to us, because it is important when we are uploading these lectures. It's going to different for the need of the student, of course, for the needy students. That is what our aim is all about. And thanks for all of us. Thank you.